So whoever designed this Earth Sim thing, see, I think it's a game because does it not look like it? I mean, whoever designed it's definitely really sick in their nugget. I mean, look at all the fucking disease shit they came up with. Like, you come here and like your first day is like some child rape mutilation shit for some fucking genocidal Nazi alien cult. Fucking and they design them to look like this. And if you're like a living character, maybe everyone gets this, but I know in my case, this is the only people you ever meet. So, or a majority, if not all of them. And the characters are being designed to look like on the outside what they're like on the inside. So, if you want to ignore the fact that someone looks this way and is trying to have sex with you and you could pass it off, um, you're going to have to get over the hump. That's probably the personality, too. I mean, does this look like a dog rapist to you? Because the person I know who looks closest to this, they all look pretty close. Definitely talk to me about raping animals and killing animals and shit. And there's no reason not to believe that. It's odd because my other friend who didn't look quite as bad fucking was like killing people, and you know, there's honor in that, not in fucking animals and shit. And he was like, I don't think he's doing that. And it's like, well, I never questioned if you were fucking doing the things you said. I've seen you do that. Fucking. But anyways, fucking. So it's designing, like, obviously, it's designing the characters on the outside, like, to match their insides. And it's like a pretty sick thing. Like, you actually, I said, my friend, someone I know, I doubt they ever considered me a friend, considering it looked really staged to just be an evil entity in the way of my fucking life. And that's how it ended. So, it ended them laughing about shit like that after they fucking destroyed shit and played a game. Apparently, played a game with a female who looked like one of them. It's really odd. Like, those are the only people in my life. Yeah, I don't look like that, and mm, definitely not fucking animals, and definitely not terrorists like them. Fucking, I'm not like anyone I've ever met because I don't talk to people. And you got to force your way into my life to get there, and that's like the polar opposite of who I am and shit. If I look at you and you don't fucking look back like we were, I would never even attempt to talk to you. Why would I even attempt to talk to someone if they looked at me? Like, I'd just look at the ground like I always do and said, fuck. So it takes like a real work of art to even get there and shit. Fucking, like, people have to be forced into my life. But it wasn't a fiend who, who I first noticed like that. That was one of the Maryland manhoes. I grew up with a Maryland manho. One of those. You guys think this bitch is so fucking hot because she showed her fucking panties on TV, and you're too busy fucking looking at her fucking panties to notice her fucking. She's got some stupid hairdo, fucking, so she can't see what her face looks like, and once you get so intelligent and aware of what's going on, you realize like anyone with the stupid fucking hair is trying to cover up their fucking face, and that's their only option. Fucking, that's why they go that route. Fucking, is why Lady Gaga wears like boxes and shit, and she's trying to distract from her fucking face, like Marilyn Monroe did. That's why she tried to show her fucking, literally show her ass, and they made a statue of that because she's trying to distract from her fucking face. But I noticed this was my first interaction, and it was like a pretty bad person, fucking. enslaves people, takes their shit, force them to work for free, takes their shit from them if they do anything. If they somehow, anyway, obtain something they want, fucking, and takes them to the KKK center of worship, where you worship this race as gods and shit. Literally, you're like, hey, give them all my money and then go kill for them and shit. Fucking, no mistake that these things are like this. Fucking, I mean, and that it makes you think about how these people worship the master race religion, the master religion, and then you get taken to the slave religion. And the slave religion is for colonized people. So the master religion doesn't say worship us as gods, it says we are gods. And then Christianity, Muslimism, and all that says worship them as gods. And so I get the idea that what's been happening here in the world. It's these people rape and kill everyone they find. And they do that by the methods that have been happening in my life. I don't know how they do it. Like, I mean, the world looks really big. It's hard to sort out. I'm assuming they are like an alien race, shape-shifting race in the game, because they be the ones popping up and causing the most problems, just appearing out of nowhere. But it's like everything kind of does that. Like, nothing here is. Fuck, I'm pretty sure they're all fucking lying about what they are. But, anyways, I'm pretty sure everyone on this planet's lying about what they are, starting with a living being, because. And not being deceptive. I mean, it all starts with like learning right away. These motherfuckers are really deceptive and manipulative. And it takes a long time to fucking ask. It takes till the year 2020 to fucking ask to see everything and start to think maybe they don't have the mental capacity to choose to be deceptive themselves, and they just were designed that way. But these people are the ones who shapeshift and appear out of nowhere, and apparently, I'm not sure, like, if they're in control of their own shape-shifting abilities, or if that's just the game showing me that it can shift material goods and fucking faces and stuff like that. That was in 2020 when I'm fucking quite sure I've seen that happening. It did it several times, just in case I was going to try to convince myself I didn't just fucking see that. And we were alone too. I mean, it waited for the right fucking time every time to teach me something during 2020. It waited. If it was something that required 100 people at once to network together to cement the fact everyone's involved, we're all in it together, is a bad example compared to the examples I was actually shown that year, because we're all in it together doesn't mean nothing fucking until you see the other shit. And the shape-shifting don't mean shit until you're alone with someone and they're doing it repeatedly on a fucking dark, fucking silent night and shit. And they're the only people around for a long fucking way. Anyways, so apparently the game starts out, you're amongst these people and you're learning that, like, they're like pretty vile, like holding you back. I noticed there's a string of pattern in my life. First of all, people like this appear like all over, and then so I began testing that in 2020, like, and they separate me from girls I'm with who I'm assuming sometimes of them anyways, so that's a good thing. That's a positive thing. I don't end up with any of their people. Because unless we're trying to make a porno like the Saw movie series, I'm not interested in it. And we're gonna just not have the porno part in that. I don't think I'm interested in that. Sorry, my bad. Kind of like gerbils, except for gerbils have never pissed me off. I'm just not interested in it. Fucking imagine if a gerbil like went around raping you and drugging you and enslaving you and forcing you to be with people you don't want to be around and shouldn't be around and it's a gerbil. So and it looks like a gerbil and acts like a gerbil. Fucking am I wrong by saying that in the gerbil's image that I was created? I mean, they're called the rat people for a fucking reason, dude. Gerbils are just pretty much rats. Fucking. But they're like weaker rats and shit. Dumber rats. Good thing gerbils aren't smart enough to tell you they're geniuses and E equals MC square. Guys. Or pi equals pineapple triangle. Or some dumb shit, because people be like, oh my god, that's the smartest fucking thing ever. I don't even understand what it's saying, but it's a gerbil who can talk. Anyways, back to what's been going on. Well, everything I've been talking about, kind of involves fucking the Marilyn Monroe. Let's skipping forward a bit, talking about Marilyn Monroe. You'll notice that the trans agenda is just their people pushing themselves as acceptable because it's a boy, it's a girl, what's that? It's Pat. They made it themselves. If you don't know what that's from, they made that themselves. Like it's about a person who looks like both people and they just put one of their own people as the characters fucking there. And they've been pushing, I think, for thousands of years for people to accept them as living beings and gods. I mean, apparently gods, right? They didn't just write the Bible 6,000 years ago. They started fucking enslaving people in Egypt before that. So they've been pushing that people should accept them as gods for a long time and slowly indoctrinating the world into the boiling pot. They start with paper mache masks claiming they're birds and dog gods, and then they slowly take the mask off, and then apparently that scared people, so now someone gave them technology to do plastic surgery, and so Marilyn Monroe came out with their wig and all that shit. And so anyways, so that matters because those people look like that are there every step of the way trying to destroy existence in this world. Fucking, the first thing they do is, okay, so like, they like force you to do nothing to participate in modern society, trying to take you back to like Stone Ages. And I think that's because these people, okay, so they're the master religion, right? And Christianity, atheists, Satanism, all that shit. Are the slave religions. Those are the people who've been colonized and replaced. And it's a boy, it's a girl. What's that? It's Pat. I think might be the largest reason why they don't replace all the people that they colonized was because they probably have similar emotions about themselves. I mean, why else would they have to wear blonde wigs and, big poofy fucking hair covering their face if they didn't feel just as disgusted about it? And so you keep the other people alive. I mean, this dude is like the king of porno and shit. Fucking, that's where that stuff comes from in this country. And I mean, these days they're fucking, it is like literally the talk show fucking host paying people to have sex with them and shit. And without that, I think they'd have a hard time fucking getting someone to come around them and shit. Fucking without pity stories too, like, oh, my Holocaust, and come cry on my shoulder and stuff. Without that, I don't think there'd be any fucking sympathy for them. But that's why they can't let you discuss it, because if you discuss how fake their fucking pity stories are, you wouldn't believe in the Bible. Fucking, because the Bible is the same fucking made up delusion that they're victims when they were slaves in Egypt, when in fact they're using the pyramid as their symbol, symbolizing that they weren't fucking slaves. They were the people who fucking enslaved people. Fucking, and this is them again. I mean, this is all they have to offer the world is fucking hatred, degeneracy, and fucking disgustingness and vileness. I'm telling you, the creator fucking is making the images fucking look exactly the same as what's inside the people and shit. And they're the people telling you that that's not the case. Looks don't matter. Like, their media is telling you it's okay to chop off your penis. Looks don't matter. Fucking become a man, become a woman. I mean, they've got a weird obsession with man-on-man sex and shit. Fucking, like, they're the ones been pushing that everywhere. The Romans supposedly did it. Who looks like an Italian? Well, that's who the Romans look like. They ain't look like no people from Greenland and shit. Fucking, it fucking looks like every Roman statue fucking leader there was, doesn't it? Just like everyone in Trump's cabinet and Trump's little inauguration and shit. Fucking, and Trump's family. Fucking, and Musk's family, etc., etc., etc. So yeah, it all ties together there. But what some people might not know is I experienced them all up in my fucking life, and they all do or have at least said the ones who I couldn't quite label as being there vicious and hostile, had all the same things, as the other people. Drugs and little attitudes. Pretty much every time I met a female, I mean, I think most of the time it was their people. And okay, so they're usually beside that female, but they're also beside me when I meet the female often. I'm trying to separate myself from people as fast as I can, especially once I meet a girl I like and shit. Like, there's no point to me having a man friend unless we're in some sort of business, and that's still probably not a good idea to have a man friend who's in business with you, because friendship and business don't fucking mix. You have to make a business decision. You're going to cut off the friendship. The friend probably knows shit about you other people don't need to fucking know, and now you're fucked and stuck with a bad business partner and shit. So friendship and business shouldn't fucking mix and shit. It's a cute idea. Maybe if you're in a band or something, fucking, yeah, right. I mean, look at Megadeth. I've seen videos of Metallica where it didn't look like they liked each other either, fucking. But, generally, it's cool to have someone you can trust until they turn out to be a person who wants more and more and more. And so this is kind of what I'm discussing, is how everyone kind of had like a similar attitude. It's almost like everyone was trying to separate me from everyone else in my life. All my girlfriends told me that the man I was hanging out with during that time had said things and pretty much was making a move without saying, do you want to date me? And shit, fucking. One girl said, like, your friend came up to me and asked me if you beat me and stuff. And I thought that was weird because it's like he's around me fucking more than she is, and he's around me pretty much all the time she is. I'm not even interested in her. I'm just not interested in relationships. So I'm like, why would he be asking that? And then I see it happen repeatedly. And so all these people all have one, and they all have one thing in common. One person, like, did come in between me and the other person and take them away. But that girl looked like them. So I kind of assume, looking back, that they were playing these roles together to waste my life that year. Just to burn my life away. And another person I wasn't attracted to, really. Although I was happy around that person. And I blame that on drugs. I wouldn't have been attracted to them. But could have also blamed the drugs for I was happy. Or doctor's drugs, right? Yeah, doctor's drugs they gave me and shit. Drugs they won't give me again, probably because they made me happy and they don't want that to happen. Because they're in control of the drug trade. They're in control of the hospitals. That's their little fucking Abrahamic symbols. Satanist, Christian, atheist symbols all over the fucking hospital and shit. That's their pedophile rituals they do to newborn baby boys at the hospital. That's their fucking pedophile. What is that called when you mutilate people? Disgusting, terroristic, pedophile, what? Savage. And those words just don't quite imply we're mutilating fuckers and shit. Carving gang marks into them. It's probably not even something that low on the totem pole why it's done. It probably has to do with why some people I know go around killing animals and raping them and shit, right? So probably got something to do with it's probably got something to do with on the level of mutilating fucking baby penises. It's just like you couldn't even begin to understand that. I don't even think there's a word for something like that. Like, sick, disgusting, vile, fucking, yeah. But I notice in my life there's this pattern of people in there over and 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 over. And I was like, okay, so I look similar to this shit, especially when I dye my hair black and shit when I was little and stuff. I fucking look 1 fucking inch away from an Italian. I mean, I look like Jesus, fucking, dude, Jesus, crazy, fucking. That's without dyeing my hair black. He didn't have black hair like he does in the new fucking movie and shit. But it's like, I mean, some of these people are literal fucking Satanists and shit, but it's all the same. I mean, only one group is allowed to have religion on the earth at a time, apparently, because apparently religion is about a bloodline, which it is. It's about the Abrahamic bloodline. It's about the children of Abraham, the seed of Abraham, fucking. It's a book about bloodline supremacy, basically, saying God's going to give these people the fucking world and shit. And then people use it to conquer and colonize. And then they create offshoots of it that just seem to be the same thing. Like, the writer of the Satanic Bible runs guns to Israel. What the fuck would you be opposing the Christians for by helping them invade the Middle East and restore Israel and shit? If you're opposing them, you would oppose. Those people, they think it's all hogwash and don't believe it. Why would they support the story at all? Why would they support the story at all and call themselves Satanists? Fucking and make a book called the Satanic Bible. Why would we use the word Bible and fucking none of that makes sense. Why would the Muslims write a Bible? It doesn't make sense. It's about the seed of Abraham and shit, and if you're not it, now there's the only sense I can find in it is if you're not it, because the Satanists I know, well, there we go. And I don't know a lot of Muslims. I don't know how to read Arabic either, so I can't look into their history. And I'm tired of researching things when I'm a fucking know-it-all. And I think things are pretty simple to see, and wasting years researching the same thing over and over, it's just a waste of time. Like, once you find enough things, I don't need to find, if someone killed a whole room full of people, I don't necessarily need to find all 18 weapons they use. One or two weapons with their fingerprints on it is more than enough. I don't need to be like, maybe they used a butter knife and threw it in the sewer. Let's go crawl through the sewer and see if we can find the butter knife. And it's like, but we got the gun over here with the fingerprints on it, and we got the machete with the fingerprints too. I think we should look for the culprit instead of worrying about where the butter knife or the safety pin they used to kill the other people might be. It's gonna be hard to find that safety pin. But anyways. So this has been in my life for a while. So we tested this in 2020 because I was like, wait a minute, this shit's got to be set up because the first 15 years of my life. Okay, so like the first 15 years of my life, 15 to 30, I was being fed people who, the best, if I'm looking at this positively, I was being thrown disposable people. Like, I'm sure you're going to love being called a disposable person. It is what it is. I only know two people. My one uncle, my one brother, I guess my one grandpa, who have a steady relationship, and I guess my other aunt, way out, had a man. So out of all these people I know close to me, family and all this shit, I know 3 people who had a steady relationship. Technically, someone right above me right now has had a steady relationship for like 15 years, but that's not the way their life always went. So I learned early that they might be just using religious things like marriage as a way to continue to manipulate people, because Santa Claus is clearly about manipulation, and it's the same story that comes from the Bible to be used to teach children or other people not to act right. Either act right or you're going to be tortured after you die. At least they have the fucking decency to not say we're going to torture you while you're alive, although they might be doing that. We could argue that that's decency and not just more and more manipulation. But hey, Satan's alive now, right? Anton LaVey wrote the Bible. He's delivering guns to Israel to punish God's people, I guess, in Palestine. I don't know. But anyway, so looking at the first 1530, I was realizing this is weird because it's almost like a pattern here that I'm being thrown disposable people, and it's not necessarily an issue, but it's conflicting with what's being beaten into me that people aren't, that females aren't supposed to be disposable and shit, right? Fucking, I dispose of male friends on my own accord, and there's no rule anywhere you must keep friends. People say don't burn bridges, and I say, well, motherfucker, I can't even carry bridges and shit. They're too heavy to carry, so we're just gonna have to leave them behind. Fuck it. And burning them is sometimes required because sometimes the bridge is like trying to tag along and shit. So, fuck it. Yeah, I mean, quotes and metaphors. Do you really believe anything? It's all like everything is one thing, and then the next thing is the opposite of it. And one day you believe in one, and the next day you believe in the total opposite. So it's like none of that really matters. But it does make sense to, especially if they would explain it to you more, it makes sense to have a family unit. Family units were invented to hold people together and build and grow. Kind of like a business. Pretty much a business. Women used to be traded off and sold unless it was Cleopatra. Things were arranged. And with Cleopatra, shit was arranged too. Cleopatra got with, another king of another nation and shit. That right there, that little thing, we're not going to delve into that just yet, but that's kind of odd with what I'm talking about because I've always had people tell me I'm from a royal bloodline, and my actions also kind of state that, like, if we're going to arrange my marriages, it'd be with Cleopatra and shit. Fucking, if she was intelligent. We can't say for sure any world leader's ever been intelligent. People think King David was intelligent, but he was intelligent enough to be able to get someone to write a book about him. We don't have a book about anyone else, really, do we? Maybe the Roman emperors, a couple of them, but I think King David is probably the only one everyone knows. So, hey, he wins in that category. Whether it's through violence or manipulation or actual intelligence, he got a book written about him. Anyways, so I was noticing like things are disposable, and even the male friendships. I might have been assuming. I might take that time to assume to think that they were placed to be disposable and learn lessons. Like I learned different things from different people, but at the same time, I'm having this beat into my head and by everyone in society that you marry, especially religion, that you marry someone like you get with a girl and you don't have sex with them and nothing, and if you do, you marry them. And I always thought that'd be cute to find a female who did what I did, and I never really found that. And then so that kind of like started to get all odd, and when I started to realize like, hey, like I'm told I'm gonna die one day, so it'd be I don't see why I've been wasting my time around people who I have no purpose being around. And I never had that problem myself. It's just I never found any of those people. It's like you want to meet a person whose favorite color is black, and magically I don't meet people. This is an instance, not necessarily a requirement or anything, but it's just an example there. Um, And you never meet a person whose favorite color is black. And then later in life, you start to see things like looks set up and staged, either on repeat or on a pathway. And you start to realize, I start to think like, okay, so this is being set up purposely. I'm being fed disposable people my whole life. Like I've lived a very different life, I guess. I don't know what it's like to be everyone else. I thought everyone else lived the same life I did. And like my whole life, like I was living thinking everyone else did what I did, and there's no way in hell. I mean, logically, we knew that about some things. Logically, like it was so different in some ways that different friends would we would have these discussions like, do you think other people do what we do? And do you ever talk to people about what we do and stuff? And the answer is, yeah, No, they don't do that. We shouldn't talk about it. It's a waste of time. They don't even believe us, and that's just a couple things. So like, and that's the people around me, and to me, they're living standard lives to some extent. To the large extent, they can pass as pretty normal if you watch them and just leave out a few things here and there. My life, there were years where I was probably going to a new school every 7 months, different side of city, and in a large city that's like going to a whole another city, and uh, you know 20 plus miles away, something like that. So so like I never got like position with anyone or stability, and we moved like that happened because I was moving houses almost as often too and shit. So my last few years of school, hell, not even my last few. I mean, when I was young, it's like kindergarten, kinder care was one place. Preschool was one place for a few months, and then kindergarten was one place for 8 months, and then uh, I mean another place for 8 months, and then first grade was another place for uh, 3, 4 months, and then technically I was in fourth grade there for a couple weeks. I think it was a couple weeks. That's some weird shit. It's a story that I think it's one of these fabricated, made up things. That's when I first learned I can do remote viewing and stuff. Or I'm forced to when certain things happen, and hearing stuff along the way. I don't know if remote viewing and the definition of that includes hearing or not. But yeah. Well, that's where I began noticing the weirdness. But the weirdness was already happening because in like first grade I was being separated um, because I could read books, and the other kids couldn't say their ABCs yet, and so I get separated over here. And this is like, this is continuing, like, and then I moved schools again, and then really like the only stable part of my life was like right there after first grade, being passed up to fourth or fifth. I think it was fourth because I was passed up fourth grade, so that would have been fifth. And then that was like the most stable part of my life. Right there, I think there's like a 4 year period there where I didn't switch schools, and after I switched from that one, and then we went into back to switching schools maybe every few months, not a lot, but actually, I don't remember the exact dates. Yeah. The more I think of it, the more I might have been moving that I just don't remember. It was like part of me, so I moved around, and I got used to that disposable stuff. And I'm not going to be able to finish this because this battery's dying. So let's put this on pause.